Ma'am, shall I start, ma'am?
Yes, ma, you can start our program.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I welcome today's speaker and the participants for this AICT sponsored 6 days online STTP on mitigation of power quality issues in distributed generation systems using custom power devices, phase 2. Welcome you all. I welcome Dr. P. Usharani, Madam, Professor and Coordinator of this STTP program, to introduce the today's session speaker. Welcome, ma'am.
Yes, ma. Thank you. Good morning to one and all. I welcome you all for the fourth day of this AICT sponsored STTP. Today, we have Dr. Balamurali, Executive Engineer, Transmission, TAN Transco, amongst us for delivering a lecture on discussion on addressing power quality issues in India. I welcome you, sir. On behalf of our management, our college, and on my own behalf, I welcome and thanks for accepting our invitation. He graduated his UG from GCT in the year 1991, ME from GCT in the year 1994, MBA Power Management from NPTI Faridabad with gold medal in the year 2004. PhD with College of Engineering from College of Engineering Guindy Campus, Anna University in the year 2013. Dr. Balamurali is currently holding the position of Executive Engineer, TAN Transco. He is with Tamil Nadu Electricity Board from 1995 to till date. He was working as chair professor in Anna University for more than 4 years. His area of interest, planning of power system infrastructure, power business management, and energy economics. He has delivered so many lectures in AICT sponsored programs and international conferences throughout India. He was one of the members in framing the Anna University Syllabus Committee. He secured a Certificate of Excellence Award from TANGEDCO in the year 2017. He has participated in International Visitor Leadership Program on Climate Change and Renewable Energy held at United States in the year 2015, organized by Department of State, Washington, D.C. He is having both academic and industrial experience. It is great opportunity to all of us to have such eminent personality with multi-talented skills. Once again, I welcome you, sir. I request you to take over the session, sir.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you. Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today's session is we are addressing how to address the power quality issues in India. Before addressing, first of all, basically we have to understand what is happening in power sector in India, so that we can have a better view about what is the current problem, how it can be addressed with the current issues, current devices. Because for the past 3 to 4 days, you covered all the devices which are available in the market to take care of the power quality issues. But basically, we have to understand what is the current power sector, what are the problems faced by the current power sector with respect to from the point of quality. So how to address it? That is the prime objective of the session, whole session. You can see here. Lifestyle of citizen depends on how much quantum of energy is, how much quantum of electricity is consuming, and what is the quality of power supply. These two parameters decides the lifestyle of a citizen, because nowadays we are using all electronic items in the domestic application as well as for industrial application. Then not only how much quantum of supply we are providing, whether are we providing a continuous power supply and uninterrupted power supply. Even during now, I am facing a power cut in my house because of the availability of a generator in the premises. I am able to provide a session. So we have to provide a continuous, quality, reliable, affordable power to the consumer. That is the first objective. While supplying the power, the second objective is the quality power. Here the entire session is we are revolving around the quality of power supply. These two parameters decides the lifestyle of the citizen. Suppose even though if we are providing a power, if it is not of a good quality, it will have the impact on the device that we are using. Say whether it is a mobile or whether it is a laptop or any electronic equipment, the performance depends on the quality of the power supply. So ultimately, the lifestyle of the citizen depends on how much quantum of electricity and how quality of power supply depends. Again, you can see here, this is a world over picture. What is the, how much quantum of electricity we people are consuming? As on day, as per the latest record, in the year 2018, we are consuming about 1,181 units per person per annum. Suppose we are living, four people are living in a home, means about 4,000 units we are consuming per annum. Per person per annum, it is only 1,181 units. If you think about Canada, where people are consuming per person per annum, they are consuming more than 15,000 units. In USA, it is about 13,000 units. World average, it is in the range of 3,400 units. But where we are only consuming very minimum of 1,181 units only per annum per person. It means we have to improve the citizen's life by way of providing more power to the people. In the sense, our network to be strengthened and we have to provide more automation to the public, thereby people should consume more. The luxury of the life and the style of the life depends on how much quantum of power we are providing. As of now, we are only providing 1,181 unit. It means we are consuming very little when compared to the world average of 4,000 units, 3,400 units. It means our automation process, our mechanical activity has to be converted into automated system. When we are using more automated system, then naturally our consumption will increase, and then our lives, our comfortability level, when it increases, naturally we are going to consume more energy. So here the objective is we have to add more capacity to provide more power to the public. First aspect, when we are adding more capacity, naturally the quality will also start improving. Here in this presentation, in this slide you can see mode of generation and the relationship between mode of generation and power quality. If you think about US, where people are using only coal, is in the range of only 39% of coal-based power plant. If you think about India, as per the record of 2014, it was 74%, but as of now, it is thermal power is only 64%, of which 56% of coal-based energy. But if you take about the Brazil, where the coal-based energy is less than 5%, it means how much quantum of electricity we are generating from the coal-based power plant or hydro-based power plant or solar-based or wind-based decides the quality of power also, because when we are thinking of more renewable energy, it has an impact on the quality, because all depends on other elements. Say we are producing a DC power and then converting DC power into AC power, it means we are using inverters. When you are using a controller, naturally it has an impact on the quality of the power. Whatever power we are generating through RE generator as the quality impact, that we have to take care when compared to coal based or hydro based, because mostly coal based and hydro based we are using as a base generation. Suppose if the hydro generation is used for peak generation, at that point of time, that is also more impact. Similarly, gas based power plant, instantly we can switch on and switch off. The demand variability can be managed by way of using gas, hydro or other mode. It has an impact on power quality. So the power quality issues in Brazil, it may be different with respect to India. Power quality issues with respect to US in India, US and India will be different, because it is based on the mode of generation. How much quantum of generation we are getting from different sources decides the quality also. Now you are seeing as on 30th June, what is the installed capacity in India. So you can see here, we have a capacity of thermal power plant of 62%, of which 53% from coal-based power plant, lignite 1.78, gas 6.7, oil 0.1. Put together, it is about 62%. The renewable energy, hydro alone, we have a capacity of 45,000 megawatt. So about 12%, but nuclear it is 1.8%. Renewable energy system covering solar, wind, biomass, urban industrial waste. Put together, it is 87,000 megawatt we have, so 23%. So if you grasp quickly, It is only 23% renewable energy in this total system of installed capacity in India. This we want to double. We will see one by one. Say, as of now, we have only solar power of 35,000 megawatt as of June, wind power of 37,000 megawatt, biopower of 10,000 megawatt, small hydro of 4,688 megawatt. Put together, renewable energy system other than major hydro, it is only 87,000 megawatt. But the present government wants to increase it. By the year 2020, this target was fixed in the year 2016-17. At that time, it was very, very low. We want to achieve 1,75,000 megawatt, 175 gigawatt by the year 2022. We have only hardly another 2 years. By the time end of the 2022, we should have solar power of 1 lakh megawatt, wind power of 60,000 megawatt, biopower of 10,000. Already we reached 10,000 megawatt, small hydro of 5,000, but we are nearing reaching. So put together 1,75,000. In the sense, we have to double our renewable capacity within another 2 years. It has an impact on the quality of the power, because we are going to put a lot of converter in the system. So it has an impact on whatever power we are going to produce. So we have to give more attention to power quality in the upcoming days because of injection of more renewable energy. You can see here, so by the year 2030, our capacity, including large hydro, it was in the range of 65. But in the year 2019, we have a capacity of 1,30,000 megawatt, including hydro capacity. Gradually, we are improving in wind and solar. Wind and solar when compared to hydro and biomass, because adding a hydro capacity has a lot of, it involves a lot of difficulties and a lot of problems. But with respect to solar and wind, we are quickly installing in the fast that thereby we have reached the 80,000 to 7,000 megawatt within very short period of 6 years with respect to solar and wind. Next, we are coming to the point of what is the quantum of power we are supplying as of now. From the point of megawatt, the country's demand in the year 1 lakh, the 10 years back, around the, say, from the year currently 2020, 10 years back, 2019 to 10, it was only 1,19,000 megawatt. The demand what we supplied was 1,04,000 megawatt. So the shortage was 15,000 megawatt. When we were unable to supply power, we never concentrated on quality. We concentrated on only providing power. 10 years back, power sector was giving focus only to create capacity to fulfill the need of the people, because at that time there was a shortage of 12% power from the point of megawatt. But over the period, if you see 10,000, 2010, 2011, over the period it is gradually reducing from 12% to 2% just 5 years back, but now it is less than 1%. It means now our concentration should go towards creating capacity. Apart from that, we have to give a focus to improving quality, because as of now, we have a shortage of only 500 megawatt, 1000 megawatt. For meeting the demand growth as well as meeting the demand shortage, we have to create capacity. There is no doubt we have to create capacity to fulfill the need of the shortage as well as demand growth. One side. The other side, we should also concentrate on improving network. Improving the network by way of putting new elements into the network, thereby to improve the quality of the power by way of measuring the power quality. Here there are two issues. One is we have to give attention to measure the power quality. So far, we have not given much importance to measure the power quality at customer level. So we have to measure the power quality one side. The other side, we have to include additional elements in the system, the transmission system, distribution system, to improve the quality. So one side, we are creating the capacity, generation capacity to meet the needs. The other side, we have to improve the network by way of network strengthening, by way of introducing network elements. Thereby, we are ensuring all the parameters as per the specification. The other side, we have to measure the power quality and we have to insist our consumers to maintain the power quality from their premises. And as a utility, we have to provide better quality power. So one side utility perspective, the other side consumer premises. Both sides, they have a special care. They have to take a special care from the point of power quality. So as of now, we have only shortage of less than 1% in terms of megawatt. If we think about the energy, total energy requirement for the country. So 10 years back, the energy requirement for the country was only 8,30,000 million unit. Million means 10 lakhs. So 8,30,000 into 10 lakh unit was the requirement at the point of during the year 2009-10. At that time, there was a shortage of 83,000 million unit. But as of now, after 10 years, over the period of 10 years, since because we added more number of generation capacity throughout the country, we reduced the requirement, we reduced the shortage from the level of 83,000 million unit to about 1,000 million unit. Now you can see for the full annum, we require about 12,000 million unit. It means it shows the growth of the energy requirement. 10 years back, our requirement was only 8 lakh million unit, but after 10 years, our requirement was 12 lakh million unit. For the current year, it's only up to May, April, May. 2 months only we need only, our requirement is only 1,87,000. If you add another 10 months requirement, it will go beyond 12,90,000 million. But because of the corona situation, this year, our requirement may be about 12 lakhs million unit maybe. So our shortage will be about 1,000 million unit. Million means again it is a 10 lakh, 1,000 into 10 lakhs million unit. Still we are facing a problem with respect to supplying the power because of network congestion, network breakdown and other issues in the generation and other issues in the distribution system. But idea is, so after giving focus to improve the capacity in generation, improve the transmission capacity, improve the distribution capacity, we should also give focus to power quality because after fulfilling the demand requirement and supply requirement, we have to fulfill the requirement of the system supply quality. Now we are seeing the importance of power quality. Power quality, you can see here, the system voltage is not sinusoidal voltage. That is nothing reflecting the power quality problem. Because of the power quality problem, the worker who is working in the industry is getting frustrated and he may not come to the system, come to the industry regularly because when there is a power cut, say you can see today there is a power cut in my area. Then there is a power cut and power quality problem. It is leading to unsafe work environment. The equipment may get damaged. It has got a lot of negative impact. It will create an unsafe work environment because of the poor power quality. Suppose if there is a sudden increase in voltage, what will happen? Say sometimes we have seen some laptops are getting exploded because of the sudden increase in voltage, TV getting exploded, all this because of the poor power quality. It leads to unsafe work environment because most of the industries now are operating based on electronic equipments, fully microcontroller based. So for such industries specifically need quality power. So power quality is very much important for the current industrial practices. So because of the poor power quality, the lost capital, in the sense, the equipments which are prevailing in the industry is getting damaged. So it leads to loss of capital. The equipment is getting damaged. After that, because of that unscheduled downtime, we are unable to run the industry for the round the clock, and then it will create lot of spoilage from the semi-finished product. Suppose if you are running a cotton-based industry or this nylon-based industry, in between when the machine is operating, suddenly power cut is happening or voltage sag and voltage dip is happening, then what will happen? It will lead to a lot of quality problem in the semi-finished product. So at last it is leading to production loss and decreased energy efficiency. This is the impact of the power quality on the industry. Now you can see this picture. Here, if you want to improve the power quality, first aspect, you have to improve the network. If you are improving the network, naturally the power quality will improve. It will lead to voltage quality improvement, stability improvement, availability of supply improvement. At last, it will lead to reliability of the supply improvement. Everything is possible. Outage management. If you are managing the outage properly, it will also improve the supply availability of the supply. Again, demand variability. If you are properly able to forecast the demand correctly and demand is not variable, then it will lead to power quality improvement. If the demand is frequently variable, it has an impact on power quality. So, as a power system manager, you have to forecast the demand properly, and demand has to be fulfilled with available resources properly. If the demand is variable in between, it has an impact on the power quality. Demand forecast is the most important parameter. It has the impact on the power quality. So based on the demand variability and demand forecast, we have to make a decision on purchase of energy apart from generation if needed. So it has an impact on energy efficiency. If you are improving the network improvement, power quality will also improve. Technical loss will also improve. Thereby, the reliability of the supply will improve. Now we are coming to the exact point on harmonics. You can see the dark point, the dark bus source, that is a point of common coupling between the consumer and the utility. That is a PCC. That point is called point of common coupling. You can see in the bottom, the normal consumers with linear loads. They are having only linear load. Their load current is pure sinusoidal because their component, whatever equipment they are using, is a linear load. They are not producing any non-linear current. But what is happening when the utility is not supplying the quality voltage? Suppose if the voltage supplied by the utility in the PCC point is distorted voltage, it has an impact on the element which are present in the consumers of non-linear loads. The question is, as a utility, I have to ensure I have to supply non-distorted voltage to the consumer, because those consumers are linear loads. They are not producing any harmonics because of their linear loads. The upper part of the PCC, you can see customers with non-linear and non-linear loads. Say for example, switch mode power supplies, AC drives, fluorescent lamps. These loads which are having non-linear part, so because of that, they started creating harmonic currents. They are injecting the harmonic current into the PCC point. Because of this non-linear loads, they have started injecting harmonic currents, which has an impact on voltage which is produced by the generator. Because of the non-linear current created by the customer premises because of the non-linear load, is reflecting on the PCC point, which has an impact on voltage supplied by the utility on the customers of non-linear loads. Because of the non-linear loads customers, the other customers also getting affected. Then from the utility point of view, I have to take measures to see that our non-linear load consumers should not inject any harmonics into the system. As a utility, I will see that my non-linear load customer should not inject any harmonics into the system, for which I have to measure what is the quantum of harmonics they are injecting into the grid. That I have to measure. Utility has to take care of, has to ensure the non-linear load customer should not inject any harmonics into the system, number one. Number two, I should see that my other customer should not get any voltage which is of harmonics. the pure sinusoidal wave should be supplied by the utility. These two parameters I have to ensure. For that purpose, I have to measure the harmonics of all the customers, specifically non-linear loads alone. The linear load customer, because of the loads, they may not consume any, they may not produce any harmonics. So this is the PCC, point of common coupling. Here, as a utility, is it possible? We have a 2 crore 78 lakhs consumers throughout the state. Think about, is it possible to measure all the customers, whether they are injecting any harmonics into the system? It is highly difficult. Then we have to see some of the important customers. In the sense, it is highly difficult to measure all the customers at LT level. LT means 230 volts, 400 volts. It is mandatory to measure from the voltage level of HV customers. That is industrial consumers of drawing power at 11 kV and above, we have to measure. If you are drawing power 11 kV level, 22 kV level, 33 kV level, or 110 kV level, or 230 kV level, whatever level you are drawing power from the utility above 11 kV, I should measure, the utility should measure in the consumer premises to ensure they should not inject any harmonics into the system, thereby other customers should not suffer. Okay. Now we are coming, why we are limiting the harmonics. Limit the harmonic injection from the individual customers so that they will not cause unaccepted voltage distortion levels in the normal system characteristics. Because of the nonlinear loads of the customer, they are creating disturbance in the voltage system. So that is to be avoided. For that purpose, number one, we are measuring the harmonics. We are limiting the harmonics injected by the consumer. Second, overall harmonic distortion system voltage supplied by the utility, because the utility is supplying properly, but because of the injection of harmonics into the system, the utility supply voltage is getting disturbed. So utility should also take care of supply voltage by way of putting appropriate elements in the system, thereby overall harmonic distortion in the system should be maintained within the limits specified by the authority. We will see one by one authorities. From this, it is very clear, utility is responsible for providing clean voltage. The voltage is in the hands of utility. It has to ensure clean voltage, sinusoidal voltage. Customer is responsible for not causing excessive harmonic currents. They should not inject more harmonics. So, utility has to measure the harmonics in the premises of the customer to ensure customer should not inject any harmonics into the grid. At the same time, the utility has to take care of voltage supplied by the utility to the grid should be clean voltage. These two things, who is responsible for what purpose? Now we are coming very important slide. You can see voltage and harmonics pollution in upstream distribution system. Because of the many consumers are facing voltage variation and injecting harmonics into grid through, though regulations specify limits, we have a lot of regulation in the country. Utility regulation, Electricity Regulatory Commission based regulations, Central Electricity Authority regulations, Central Electricity Regulatory Authority regulations, so many regulations are there. But even then, customers are injecting harmonics into the grid. At the same time, the customers are facing the problem from the utility from the point of voltage variations. We are not getting a continuous standard voltage. Say if it is a 230 volts, means we are not getting 230 volts at all time. There is a continuous voltage variations happening. Again, what is the reason behind that we will see one by one? Lack of implementation and monitoring framework foster non-compliance. Suppose the regulator is strictly monitoring, the utility should maintain the voltage without any variation. If the utility is supplying voltage beyond variation, the regulator should fix a fine on the utility. Then the utility will try to maintain the supply without any variation. At the same time, if the regulator is seeing that the customer should not inject any harmonics. If they are injecting, we should penalize. The regulator should see They should create a mechanism to incentivize or penalize either both utility as well as customer. Thereby, both utility and customer will do their duty properly. The utility will try to provide a good quality voltage. The consumer will try to maintain the quality current. In the sense, they will not inject any harmonics. Both sides the responsibility. It's based on the regulator role. They have to, regulator has to provide a mechanism to see that both utility and customer should do their duty properly. First point. Second, high cost alternate source. What will happen if there is a voltage variation? Frequently voltage is getting varying. What will happen? The customers, if they are a continuous processing utility, then what they will do? They will switch over from the utility to the captive generator. Captive generator cost is too high. Say for example, if you generate a power through diesel generator, it will cost about more than 12 rupees to 15 rupees. But if you are drawing from the power from the utility, it is in the range of 6 rupees to 7 rupees. The question is the cost. The economy of the industry, the economy of the country will vary. The economy is getting affected because your product, end product will be high cost. You will not be able to sell in the market because of the power quality. Your end product is getting increased. Your product cost is increased because of the poor power quality, because of you are using more of generator. That is the very important aspect. High cost alternate source leading to end product cost increase. So market may not observe your product because of the poor quality. The producer is using a high cost source power. That's why the cost is getting increased. Third, measurement, verification and implementation. Several regulations, as we discussed already, as I told already, Central Electricity Authority, they have their own regulation. Central Electricity Regulatory Commission, they have their own regulation. State Electricity Regulatory Commission, they have their own regulations. Multiple regulations for the power quality parameters are available. There is no uniform platform. This has to be implemented. And then economic loss, because of the poor power quality, increasing nonlinear loads in the system is causing higher harmonic distortion, resulting into failure of equipment. Ultimately, because of the harmonics in the system, our transformer is getting affected, our cable is getting affected, our control room, control board is getting affected. We will see one by one. And then N neutral point is getting affected. So many equipments which are present in the network system is getting affected, getting heated, getting burnt just because of continuous presence of harmonics into the power. That is leading to economic loss to the country. We will see one by one. Impact on transformers. Transformers are normally rated for 50 hertz phase current. But what we are doing, we are not only allowing current of 50 hertz, we are also allowing more of other harmonics. So which is leading to audible noise and running temperature. Temperature is getting increased beyond 85 degree, 90 degree, 100 degree. All transformer is getting heated and noise is coming from the transformer just because of the presence of harmonics into the system. Again, the losses, current harmonics causes copper loss, voltage harmonics causes iron loss. So whatever harmonic suggestion is increased, it leads to increase in loss in the system. Again, it depends on the frequency of the harmonics. If more higher order harmonics is present in the system, the loss will be high. So we have to see that first our elimination should be of higher order harmonics should be contained for the purpose of reducing losses in the system. Here, what is the thing I want to stress means, we have to give first importance to removing all the higher order harmonics because it has an impact on high frequency, impact on high losses. So higher order harmonics should be eliminated from the system first by way of putting appropriate devices in the consumer premises. Second, neutral current. In a three-phase four-wire system, the neutral conductors are severely affected by nonlinear loads connected to a 230 branch circuit. If there is a linear load, mostly neutral currents are getting cancelled. We may not find any current in the neutral path. But if it is a non-linear load, if it is not a balanced non-linear load, it leads to current flow through the neutral conductor, which is hard numbered harmonics, triplen, which is not getting cancelled, that is passed on through the neutral conductor. Your neutral conductor is getting more current than the phase current, and then it is affecting the neutral conductor strength. That's why the system designers are using more thickness in the neutral conductor to avoid this. This leads to high voltage drop in the neutral conductor. This is the other problem. Excessive overheating which is happening in the neutral conductor. Neutral conductor is getting damaged. To avoid this, they are putting oversized neutral conductor. That leads to cost implication. Again, the voltage drop in the neutral conductor, that is also most serious important. These are some of the issues in the practical purpose because of this harmonics in the distribution utility. And then, so basically we are strengthening the neutral bus bars, conductors, lugs should be designed to have a double cross section than that of the phase conductor to avoid this, but it has a cost impact. So did we discuss about transformers, neutral conductor, and then electrical panels in the control rooms of HT industry, EHT industry, control rooms of substations are producing buzzing noises and panel starts vibrating, all because of this harmonics. So because the panels are designed to carry 50 Hz currents, but because of magnetic fields generated with a higher frequency, we are facing vibration of the electrical panel in the control room and emitting the sounds of singing sound. So these are the things which are very important impact of power quality on the power system. And then cable is also, because we are transferring power in the city and all using cables, because of the skin effect and proximity effect, this frequency is having the impact on the heating of the cables. Cables that are subject to ordinary level of harmonic currents are prone to heating over and above what would have been expected due to RMS value. Because all the sheath, all the over cover elements of cable are designed to carry off RMS current. Because suddenly if you are injecting more of harmonic based current, it has a heating impact on the overall cable insulation property, may deteriorate over the period because of the continuous presence of harmonic in the system. So as we discussed, voltage distortion, overheated transformer and motors, heating of neutral conductor, low voltage at the end loads, high neutral to ground voltage to end loads. These are some of the impact of harmonics on the system. Now we are coming what to measure. So our entire presentation is going towards how to address these issues. So here the question is total harmonic distortions of current. So we have what to measure THD voltage, THD current. What is mean by THD? Total harmonic distortion of current, THD indicates total harmonic current distortion of the waveform. So how much distortion is happening in the current? This is with respect to your fundamental current. This value is defined as the ratio in percentage of the harmonic current to the fundamental current, measured at a load point at a particular moment when the measurement is taken. At any point at time you can measure. But here the question is whether to take a measurement at full load or 50% load or no load or any load. This has an impact that we will discuss next. THD, total harmonic distortion. It is nothing but square root of all the currents, all the other than fundamental. Square root of I2 square, I3 square, I4 square, I5, all the harmonics currents divided by the fundamental current, THD. If it is total demand distortion, then it should be with respect to maximum current. Instead of IL, I1. Again it is a fundamental current only. A fundamental current at maximum load, that is IL. For the purpose of measuring, it is good to measure all the harmonic currents and the primary current and the fundamental current when the system current is maximum demand, when the system is facing a peak demand. So thereby we are seeing that what is the harmonic level during peak load condition. Suppose if you are measuring at no load or low load, the measurement may be leading to lot of false report because it is not giving a real problem, because it shows more of harmonics, but the load itself is very poor. So as a utility, if you want to measure, if you want to get a perfect picture of the system, you have to measure the power quality parameter harmonics during the system when the system is at peak. So here THD, TDD, THD is square root of I2 square, I3 square, I4 square, I5 square divided by I1. TDD in the sense all the measurements is taken at the system at peak. So for the purpose of penalizing, we have to see that the industry should run at a full load. At that point of time, we have to measure all the harmonics and we have to arrive what is the total harmonic distortion THD, what is TDD. Total demand distortion is especially the ratio of measured harmonic current to the full load fundamental current. For the purpose of measuring, we are only of important TDD only. The full load fundamental current is the total amount of non-harmonic current consumed by all the loads on the system when the system is at peak current, peak demand. Here you can see TDD is harmonics expressed as percentage of IL. THD harmonics expressed as percentage of I1. In the most of the books, people are referring only I1, but from the practical point of view, if you are taking only low load, I1 only we have to take. There is no doubt it is a primary current, that is a non-sinusoidal sinusoidal current, non-harmonic, fundamental only. But fundamental at the time of full load we have to measure. Here, what is the limit? Here there are two parameters. Before limit, we will see some of the important parameters with a very fast rate. Steady state and disturbance. These are the two important aspects we have to think from the point of power quality. When the power is coming steadily, what are the power quality parameters? When there is a disturbance, what are the power quality parameters? Steady state, when power is coming continuously, the problem is power is coming with harmonics and frequency is not matching, frequency deviation, and voltage is not balanced between R phase, Y phase, B phase, and voltage is not fixed, it is fluctuating and it is flickering. These are the four parameters from the point of steady state. From the point of disturbance, there are 6 parameters. One is outage, suddenly power is disturbing. Momentary interruption, coming for 5 little time, momentary, second, microseconds. It's a transient over voltage, voltage dips and voltage swells. These are some of the disturbances. So we are classifying the power quality from the point of two. One is a steady state, there is a disturbances. Voltage interruption. When power is coming, it is getting interrupted. It is, if it is an interruption in the sense, if it is less than, it should be less than 10% of nominal voltage, 230 volts. If it is less than 23 volts, then only it is called voltage interruption. Otherwise, it is not considered as a voltage interruption. Again, here there are instantaneous, momentary, temporary, sustained. It is all based on what is the cycle. If it is less than 0.5 cycle, if it is more than 0.5 cycle to 3 seconds, if it is less than 1 microseconds, all based on the duration, we are considering it as a whether it is a momentary, temporary, and sustained. Voltage variation. Here our question comes. How much voltage variation is permitted? Whether it is 5% or 10%. As a utility, suppose the regulator wants to apply a penalty on the part of utility because of non-fulfilling that non-compliance of voltage variations. Whether the utility should maintain plus 5% or plus 10%, something the utility has to maintain. That we will see one by one. Voltage unbalance. Suppose 3 phase, one phase voltage is coming 230, the other phase voltage is coming 260, the other voltage is coming 190. How much voltage unbalance is permitted? That we have to look into it. Voltage shake. Suddenly voltage is coming for a fraction of a second, it is coming from 230 volts to 160 volts. How much is permitted? Voltage swell. Suddenly from 230 to 360 for microsecond, it is coming back to 230. How much we can permit? Everything matters. Voltage flicker, voltage transience. It is again two types. One is a impulse transient, which is a brief unidirectional variation in voltage and current are both. Other is oscillatory, which is bidirectional variation in the upper part as well as bottom part of the sinusoidal waveform. Voltage and currents are varying. These are some of the power quality problems. Voltage transients we discussed already, current transients, current harmonics, power factor. Normally in the books and all, normally in the basics we used to discuss only true power, displacement power factor. That is nothing but a angle between the voltage and current. We are saying that is normally we used to say the active power with respect to apparent power without considering the harmonics. That is the basically we used to say it's a power factor. But in a real industry factor, we have to take harmonics also. So whatever power factor we are arriving should have an impact, should consider the harmonics also. Then under this scenario, the real power factor will reduce when compared to the original power factor what we considered. The displacement power factor is the cosine of angle between fundamental voltage and current. What is the angle between voltage and current, which is the power factor we used to study. But because of this harmonics, there is a term called true power factor, which is taking care of harmonics present in the system. So whatever true power factor is the ratio between total active power taking care of harmonics and total apparent power taking care of harmonics. So at last, the true power factor is always less than the displacement power factor if harmonics is present in the system. Now we are coming to the regulations which are present in the India. CEA, Central Electricity Authority, they are the authority for the entire country. Central Electricity Authority Grid Standards Regulation 2010, which is giving what is the grid standard voltage. Everything they are giving. Similarly, CEA Technical Standards for Connectivity to the Grid. Suppose if you are connecting, you are the customer, you want to connect to the grid, what is the standard you have to maintain, which is spelled out in the 2013 CEA regulation. These are the two regulations which are available in the net also. Similarly, Central Electricity Regulatory Authority, Regulatory Commission, they are providing Indian Electricity Grid Code, IEGC. Indian Electricity Grid Code was developed by CERC. Similarly, State Electricity Regulatory Commission, they are developing State Grid Code, State Supply Code. These are some of the codes which are taking care of power quality, which is supplied by the utility, and then the power injection, harmonics injection by the customer. Both are covered under these regulations. So reliability, voltage, current, and harmonics. These are the four parameters. Reliability is, as we all know, SAIFI, SAIDI, and SAIDI. This is related to continuous power availability. We are giving more importance for voltage, current, and harmonics. These are some of the quality parameters. Voltage variation, voltage unbalance, voltage monitoring, current unbalance, THD, total harmonic distortion, total harmonic resistance from the point of voltage and current. So now we are coming, what is the violation? Voltage variation. In Tamil Nadu, the voltage level of 11 kV and above, we are specifying the voltage variation. What is permitted? You can see plus 6% is permitted. And if it is a negative side, it should be minus 10%. If it is beyond 6% or beyond minus 10%, the regulator should come into play. They have to penalize the utility. But the implementation of this act, implementation of the regulation is the toughest task, because sometimes suddenly we are getting more than 6% voltage. Say 230 volts, 6%. So 6% means per ton 6 volts. So about 20 volts increase. If it is more than 20 volts, so 230, if you are getting 260, immediately the utility should ensure it should be less than 6%. In other states, you can see, Tamil Nadu, we specified only 11 kV and above. Tamil Nadu does not specify voltage variations for 33 kV and 66 kV. We have specified only 11 kV level. For EHT level, some states have taken the variation limits of CEA and CERC. So you can see here, Madhya Pradesh, 400 kV voltage, the voltage variation permitted by the State Electricity Regulatory Commission. It is in the range of plus 5%. Central Electricity Regulatory Commission plus 5%. The minimum variation from the point of voltage is minus 10%. There is a variation between State Electricity Regulatory Commission and Central Electricity Regulatory Commission. Central Electricity Regulatory Commission is considering for the country as a whole, but SERC for a particular specific state based on the issues of the power problem in this country, state, they are fixing high limit. So instead of 5% drop, they are allowing up to 10% drop in the sense there may be problem with the state in Madhya Pradesh. Similarly, for 220 kV, the voltage regulation, the voltage limits are different. When compared to 5% at 400 kV, 220 kV, they are allowing up to 10% decrease. Similarly, 132 kV. Similarly, in Maharashtra, instead of 73 kV, for 66 kV, they are permitting up to 73 kV at higher side. But Central Regulatory Commission is permitting only 72%, 72 kV only. Similarly, at Delhi, for 66 kV, SERC is permitting 73 kV, CERC is permitting up to 72 kV. Say we as a consumer, from the point of LT voltage, 230 volts, what is permitted? So maximum 6% plus or minus variation is permitted in Gujarat, Maharashtra also 6%, but in Tamil Nadu, plus side 6%, minus side 10%. In Madhya Pradesh, it is plus or minus 6%. Average, it is plus or minus 6% they are permitting. In HT voltage variation, HT in the sense, LT means 230 volts, 400 volts normal level, normal domestic application level. ST voltage 11 kV and above, it is plus 6 to minus 9%. Similarly, EHT is 110 kV and above. Voltage unbalance. Now we are coming to voltage unbalance. There are YB. What is the voltage unbalance between R phase and Y phase? Normally, voltage unbalance shall not exceed 3% at 33 kV and above. Does not specify standard below 33 kV. So the voltage unbalance between R phase and Y phase and B phase, regulator is Central Electricity Authority is giving more focus for high-end customers. In the sense, above 33 kV and above, they are, suppose you are running industry, you are running 110 kV industry, you want to draw a power at 110 kV level. The utility is providing express feeder directly from the utility end to customer end. The RYB phase should not vary beyond 3 phase. Voltage unbalance should not exceed beyond 3%. As of now, no standard in all the states. Some of the states, say for Karnataka, they are maintaining 3% at 33 kV, 3.5% 33, 11 kV level. Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Delhi, voltage unbalance shall not exceed 3% at the point of supply. No standard as such, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Gujarat. They are not any following. No standard from the state specific. Now we are coming to the limits. THD limits. We already discussed about what is total harmonic distortion, what is TD, total demand distortion. Suppose total harmonic distortion for a voltage at the connection point, PCC, point of common coupling point, it should not exceed THD, voltage should not exceed 5%. At the same time, no individual harmonic higher than 3%. Individual harmonic should be less than 3%. And then total harmonic distortion of voltage should not exceed beyond 5%. Suppose as a UT, I am going to the consumer premises, I am measuring using any power quality analyzer. If the consumer is having the non-linear load and he is putting active filter, passive filter and other appropriate devices to control the harmonics, his current contains some harmonics. If the THD level of the entire harmonic system is less than 5%, he will not be penalized as per the CEA regulation. Similarly, total harmonic distortion for current at the system should not exceed 8%. For a current, it is 8%. For a voltage, it is 5%. Because this voltage is so much important, thereby, you should not impact in the neighboring customer. That's why the voltage level is fixed low, that is 5% when compared to current level of 8%. For voltage level 11 kV, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat and Maharashtra specifies THD of 5% with individual accessibility, whereas Karnataka specifies 3.5% with individual harmonic currents 5%. Here the quality, you can see in Maharashtra and all, we fix only 5% with voltage quality. But in Karnataka, it is 3.5%, means still they are stringent. If you reduce further 3.5% to 2.5%, then the quality will improve. Over the period, the THD level should be very minimum, thereby the quality should be improved. Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh specify the cumulative THDV as 8%, cumulative of both current and voltage. Voltage level 33 kV, Karnataka specify the THD limit of 3% with no individual harmonic current higher than 2%. Earlier we fixed only 3%, but here harmonic Karnataka is fixing 2.5%. Similarly, Andhra Pradesh and other government, other states have fixed their own limits for harmonic currents. Harmonic THD 5% single harmonic. Normally 5% for a voltage, 5% with single harmonic content not exceeding 3%. That is the standards. 8% for current, 5% for voltage. That is the standard. This is fixed by CEA regulation. Whatever we followed, we are following CEA regulations. State government is following, utility is following CEA regulations. Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Delhi, there is no limit prescribed. If we think about this as comparison about different states from the point of THD alone, THDV, THDI, the CEA regulation, you can see the last column, 5% THD for with single harmonic content not exceeding 3%. That is a CEA regulation. For the voltage level 33 kV to 132 kV. If it is higher voltage of 220 kV, what will happen? We have reduced to THD level of 2.5% with single harmonic content 2%. If it is going beyond 400 kV, if it is above 220 kV and within 2 to 400 kV, THD should be 2% with single harmonic content not exceeding 1.5%. If it is 765 kV, THD should be 1.5% with single harmonic content not exceeding 1%. What I want to communicate means, when you are improving this, when you are going to the higher system voltage, your harmonic content should be restricted. That's why it starts from 5% THD level at a voltage of less than 33 kV. For 33 kV, when it is 765 kV, it should be less than 1.5%. Thereby, the utility is ensuring the power is injected, power is provided by way of providing good quality power. These are some of the basics. There is no need to do energy meters, sensors, special purpose PQ monitors, in-plant power monitors, voltage recorders, fault relays, digital fault recorders, advanced PQRS. These are some of the various tools followed by end user and utility for the purpose of monitoring the power quality. Now we are coming, what are the measures we have to do? See, we discussed what is to be done at the consumer premises. We have to measure the power quality and we should ensure that quality should be maintained in the consumer. We should not inject any harmonics into the grid. That is the first point. What are the limits we fixed? The customer has to maintain the limits. Within the limits, he has to inject the harmonics. Thereby, the utility will ensure quality voltage supplied to other customers. Now, okay, how to do the improvement in the network system to maintain the quality voltage? That is the foremost important parameter from the point of the utility. The utility has to put a fax controller, say STATCOM, distribution STATCOM in the network, thereby ensuring the quality voltage at all point of time and all locations. On load tap change in the transformers to maintain the voltage, automatic voltage. These are some of the elements which should present in the network system to ensure. At this point of time, you should ask a question, where these devices are installed. So we all know voltages are available with substations, but where the fax controllers, STATCOMs are introduced. Say as of now, it has a very limited presence in the distribution network. But nowadays, all because of improvement in system voltage going beyond 400 kV, more networks are established in Tamil Nadu also. So now we are under construction 765 kV substation at North Chennai for pooling of power stations power. Similarly, transmitting the power to the distant location at Virudhunagar, Coimbatore and Kallakurichi area at 765 kV level. Now the networks are under construction. We are expecting all these projects in the year 22. So shortly by the year 2021, we can expect two substations at 760 kV voltage level at North Chennai and Kallakurchi. The other two substations we can expect in the year 22. For transferring power at high voltage level, 765 kV means we have to maintain the voltage, for which there is a need for putting a STATCOM. You can see here in India, already there is a availability of STATCOM in Nalagarh as well as Lucknow. This is a sample I am giving. Most of the North Indian PGCL substations, now they are started installing such type of capacitive and inductive type of reactive power requirements by way of putting a STATCOM. You can see here TSC, thyristor switched capacitor, thyristor controlled reactor, mechanically switched reactor, mechanically switched capacitors. All such things are available with STATCOM. Capacity of 400 or 200 MVR at voltage level of 400 kV, which is located at Nalagarh power station, substation. Similarly, Lucknow also they have installed 300 MVR, 400 kV level STATCOM. So, which are operated either at thyristor switch capacitor or mechanical switch reactor or thyristor controlled reactor. Either way, we can control if you want thyristor control or mechanically also possible. So, by this way, capacitor additions are already happening in North India with respect to FACS controllers. Here you can see Kerala State Electricity Regulatory Commission, they issued the order in the year 2019 to maintain the power quality. The Regulatory Commission, they introduced Power Quality and Distribution System Regulation 2019. It is under draft stage. Here the problem is, what is the penalty? What is the incentive? Suppose a consumer is maintaining a quality system. He is not injecting any harmonics, then he should be sensitized. Suppose if he is injecting more harmonics, then he should be penalized. What is the penalty? What is the incentive? Everything is deliberated in the such type of regulations provided by the state regulatory commission. This is only sample. Next we are coming, what is the power quality regulation? We have to say, as we discussed, voltage dips, voltage swells, voltage transients, voltage unbalanced deviations, voltage interruptions, everything to be covered in the power quality regulation. Now, recently, last year, the regulator, all the state regulators have been combined together. There is a forum called Forum of Regulators. The Forum of Regulators has produced the book called, you can also get the good book, August 2018, they released that book that is called Report on during the month of August 2018 by the Forum of Regulator. This Forum of Regulators suggests various measures to improve the power quality of the system. Need for power quality regulation. There is a standard regulation. There is a standard regulation that should be applied in the entire country. They have recommended such type of regulation. There is a uniform regulation throughout the country is needed. Thereby, if an industry is established at Jammu Kashmir or if industry is established at Kanyakumari, they should maintain this uniform power quality within their premises. So thereby, if they are violating, they should be penalized wherever they are. Such regulation should be developed. That is the first recommendation of the Forum of Regulators. Second, reliability indices. So already SAIFI, SAIDI, so many things developed. Whether should reliability indices be part of PQ regulation? There is already standards are available with respect to reliability indices. Whether this should be incorporated into the PQ regulation. That is the other recommendation they are giving. And then where to monitor? Monitoring the power quality parameters at transmission and sub-transmission level. Not only monitoring at customer premises. It is mandatory to monitor at transmission level, sub-transmission. Sub-transmission means between 33 kV, 66 kV at all levels. Transmission level means 110 kV and above. Which power quality parameter needs to be specified? Whether to maintain only voltage unbalance or voltage interruption or flicker or other parameters what we discussed so far. What is to be first measured and where to do a power quality monitoring? At what location? Consumer premises mean whether very near to load center, load point, or very near to meter point, or very near to point of common coupling. Where to monitor? At what location? Transmission substations, at substation premises, at distribution parameter, distribution transformer level. Where to maintain? Where to monitor? These are the things have been elaborated in the form of regulators book. Kindly refer, which is available in the Google. What is the incentive, disincentive? Suppose if he is continuously injecting power, how to control it? What quantum of penalty we have to apply on those customers? Suppose the utility is not taking care of supplying a quality power, how to penalize? Such things are recommended. And then integration of power quality with smart grid application. Nowadays, customer is not a customer, prosumer. Instead of consumer, now hereafter they will be called as a prosumer. So as of now, all the consumers are called as consumers. Customers are called as consumers in the utility. But in future, it will be they are called as prosumer. What is prosumer? They are producing power, they are consuming power. Producing by way of putting rooftop solar. They are injecting power. While injecting, it has an impact on power quality because of the solar power. They are producing voltage DC power and then converting use of inverter and then injecting power. By that way, they are producing and they are utilizing power whenever if they are not generating. So that's why they are called prosumer. They are having the power quality problems. And then power quality database. Every utility has to maintain the power quality. Suppose suddenly there is a steel industry in coming particular location. What is the impact of steel industry on the network? With such capacity, such database every utility has to maintain. Suddenly in that area, particular area, say for example Tamil Nadu, suddenly we are creating a separate IT corridor, IT park in a particular location. So load will totally vary. New load is going to be injected into the particular grid location. So what is the impact on such IT park on the grid? All those details should be kept as a resource for future reference. Database should be created. And then like energy audit, the utility has to conduct a power quality audit yearly once or 6 months once or once in a periodical way. Thereby, the audit outcome has to be implemented to ensure quality power to the consumer. These are some of the recommendations given by the regulators. So far, what we discussed is what is power quality, what are the things to be measured, why it has an impact on the industry, what are the recommendations the power quality regulators has given, so what are the regulations available in the country, what are the elements can be added, how the power quality can be maintained. These are the things we discussed so far. Now it is time to discuss about the questions.
Thank you, Balamurali sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge, industrial exposure here.
Okay, thank you, Professor.
Tell me, sir.
Now it's a time for questioning because exactly we finished within scheduled 1 hour 15 minutes. Another 15 minutes for question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dhanalakshmi and Uma Maheshwari. Participants, if you have questions, kindly ask, ma.
Yes, ma'am. Participants, kindly post your queries.
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am. Can I ask a question, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Tell me, pa.
Yes, you can proceed, ma'am. Yes, you can proceed.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. I have a question like how to reduce this non-linear loads in domestic consumptions, like in LT loads, so that the harmonics can be reduced.
Yes, sir. Actually, here the question is, it is very difficult to remove harmonic at all levels. Individual customers, it is very, very difficult to because we have a consumers of 2 crore and 76 lakhs. It is very difficult to monitor at individual level. Instead, we have to locate at a particular location. Say, for example, in the apartment campus, in our campus, say, for example, we have a 3 distribution transformers of 250 kVA we have. So we are supplying power to the around 200 houses in the campus. So instead of measuring harmonics at individual home, we can go and see the measurement. We can take the measurement at the transformer level, distribution transformer level, and we can place appropriate filters at the distribution level, distribution transformer level. Thereby, we can ensure the entire premises is not injecting any harmonics into the grid. That way, but as of now, the utility, the regulator is measuring and applying penalty at the voltage level of HT level only, not at LT level.
Okay.
Once we have solved all the problem at HT level, we can come to the point of LT level. But LT level, again, we can think of from the point of distribution transformer level. After meeting distribution transformer in the substation feeder level, after feeder level, distribution transformer level, and then we can come to the individual customer level. That way we can stop one by one.
Sir, by using this induction stove, it is introducing harmonics and affecting the neighboring devices in the LT consumptions. So what is the standard measure? Yes, sir.
Actually, if you go to your meter, actually, because if you suppose if you are living in Chennai, there is no doubt you have an electronic meter. If you go and see, if you press all the parameters, instead of seeing, you just see all the parameters. Normally, kilowatt hour, kVA hour, voltage phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, current phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, power factor. If you come to the power factor, most of the domestic power factors in the range of 0.6 to 0.7 only, all because of usage of non-linear loads. Suppose if you are not using any non-linear load at the particular time, if you find out it lives in the range of 0.8 to 0.9. Suppose if you are using for more of domestic appliances at particular, say on morning around 7:30, if you are using all the domestic appliances, at that time if you go and see the power factor, it will be in the range of 0.6 to 0.7, 0.65, 0.67, all because of all non-linear loads only. The idea is, it is very difficult as a customer only, the consumer know only very limited of power, whether power is available or not. He is not a technical person. He is unaware about the electricity, complex system of electricity. He know only whether current is available or not. He won't, most of the time, if you go to the rural, nobody will say power. People will say current. Current irka illaya. Current, they will ask only the voltage irkan keta, they will never understand. They know only, in city only people will say power. Power compressor of voltage and current. But in rural area, people know only current. Current poirichi. They know only current only. In the sense, physical presence. That only they know. But in the utility point of also, it is very difficult to monitor at that level. They can start implementing measurement only at high voltage consumer at the first level, and then gradually they can move to substation level, feeder level, substation 11 kV feeders. After feeder, they can come to distribution transformer level, and then we can come to major customers. Major customer means industrial customers, because those consumers, they are injecting non-linear current into the system. After coming to the next level of industrial customer, they can come to the key customers, those who are consuming more power, and then they can come to the domestic consumers. By that way, we can do. So for that purpose only, the conducting energy audit at all levels, yearly once, will improve the system. Suppose, if, say for example, in a particular section of, say for example, I am living in a Nolambur area, where the distribution transformers, about 140 distribution transformers are prevailing in the system, in the particular location, particular area, but under the control of AE. If all the distribution transformers are audited in the sense, harmonic content are audited, yearly once, we can see which is the area where the harmonics are present regularly. In that area, we can give the attention to control. So instead of focusing on individual customers, we can focus on what are all the area where maximum injection is happening. In that area, we can put appropriate devices to ensure removal of harmonics.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
You have enlightened us with a total harmonic discussion as well as total demand discussion. The difference we understood very well. We are blessed to have you for this session. On behalf of participants, really, I would like to thank you, sir. We understood very clearly, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I also thank Dr. Usharani ma'am for calling you such a eminent speakers to our session. We are so blessed to have you for this session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Lord, madam. Thank you, madam. Thank you, everyone. So I expect the feedback from participants so that I can know where to correct further.
Yes, sir. I am Shanti from Uruppa Polytechnic College. We are also doing such project with the tube products and TI cycles. All these analysis also we did, sir. That's why I asked. Thank you so much, sir.
Actually, you can refer this report. What I suggested, that it's a report on power quality of electricity supplied to the consumers, issued by the.
Yes, sir. Forum of Regulation, you told.
Forum of Regulation. Good. Just a minute. It is about more than 80, more than 110 pages. It's a very good report. It gives a very basics to in-depth knowledge. This is the only one book which is available in India, giving the complete picture about what is power quality. So instead of searching so many books, if you are referring this one single book, you can easily understand what is power quality, what are the things are happening in India. So apart from that, I have taken most of the material from this, number one. Number two, I referred Ministry of Power website, Central Electricity Authority website, and then Regulatory Commission website. These are some of the websites I referred for furnishing the data to you. All the data, whatever I have given, is taken from the website only. The only thing is how you are getting the data to take care of your elements. That is the thing. So whatever, if you want to know where the thyristor capacitor is available, why thyristor controlled reactor is available, where the STATCOM is existing as of now, what are all the area where it is going to happen in future, everything is available in PGCL website, Power Grid website. In the OCC meeting, there is a meeting called Coordination Committee meeting. OCC, you just put OCC, coordinate, that is nothing but a coordination committee meeting, operational coordination committee meeting. They are discussing about various issues of operations because of this STATCOM, because of this thyristor control devices, what is happening. They are discussing everything. You can get all those real-time current data from the system. It is readily available in the website.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, please, sir.
Actually, it's a very good presentation. Till now, we have a knowledge in book knowledge only, but with your presentation, we have a very good idea, sir. And
Thank you.
I need a small doubt. I need a small clarification, sir. If I want
Okay,
distribution system, practical bus line and load data, how can I get,
yes,
sir?
Normally, utilities may not interested to conduct any research at all because of the shortage of time and shortage of resource person. But as an individual person, you can approach the known sources to collect the information officially by way of getting information, getting letter from your authorities, your college or your department, and you can request the limited data. So most of the data, they will say it is a confidential information, but you should specify that it is for only for the research and study purpose, nothing for any commercial purpose.
Yes, sir. I'm a research scholar, sir.
If you are coming with a request from your authority, your college or your university, then naturally all the utility wherever you are, whether it is in Tamil Nadu or another way, they will provide. Simple way you can ask through RTA, that is the Right to Information Act. But certain things they may not reveal, stating it is a confidential data. But for the purpose of doing research, for the purpose of disseminating knowledge to the students, if you are expertise, means that they have to provide. There is no other go.
Okay. If by taking the help of books and Google, we are unable to get these data. Sir. That is the reason I'm asking.
No, yes, what you are saying is perfectly correct. I am also accepting. Even when I am doing research also, I also face the similar problems. Collecting data and getting data for good data is really highly tough. But only thing, your known resources, you can get it. The other side, you have to get the request letter from your principal or from your project person. You have to get the request, and then based on the request, the utility may provide. But nowadays, private utilities are there; they are ready to provide. Suppose if you are living in a Karnataka, Bescom and all, they will provide ready. Similarly, other private companies, Bescom is not private company; that is a government company only. Suppose if you are living in Noida, they will ready to provide. Suppose if you are living in Delhi, Tata Power Distribution Company, they will ready to provide all those information. So they were ready to share the information. Only thing, government companies sometimes they may not ready to provide, stating it is a confidential data. But if you are asking it for the purpose of study and dissemination of knowledge, people should give. so that the system should be improved in future.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And there's one more question from Dr. K. Ilango, Professor. Sir, how to compensate the reactive power when you are installing solar panel?
So the question is specifically small solar power. Suppose if you are considering the rooftop solar power, that is not going to have much impact. But if it is a collective of solar rooftop solar, that has an impact. But here, specifically, for example, STATCOM are considered for mitigating the issues related to solar power placement. Say, if suppose solar park, if you are developing a solar park of 600 megawatt, there lot of converters will be present. It has an impact on the reactive power compensation, where people are now the government is now the power system planner is putting STATCOM nearer to the solar based power plants, solar parks. It is also available. You can see the report. I will just a minute. I will give the report details. If you go to the 158th OCC meeting of NRPC, Operational Coordination Committee meeting of Northern Region Power Committee, 158th meeting. In that meeting, they given complete information about what are all the area where this STATCOM is presented. STATCOM is going to be installed because of the solar power plant. If we refer many other parameters, many other reports of PGCA, that is power system, PSPM, power system project appraisal, power system planning and appraisal, PSPA. If you go to the Google, PSPA, type CEA, Central Electricity Authority, power system planning and appraisal, PSPA, where you can get the complete picture about the installation of STATCOMs nearer to the solar based parks. It is under pipeline. So you will get you put CEA-PSPA reports. In the PSPA reports, they are specifying what are all the area where they are proposing STATCOM very near to the solar parks. Any other questions, sir?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So one comment from Raj Aryan. Today my doubt on reliability index gets cleared. This is a comment given by Raj Aryan. The participant got cleared about this reliability index, sir, from your lecture.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Usharani ma'am.
Dear participants, any more questions from your side? You ask once more, otherwise we can. Okay, ma'am. Dhalakshmi?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Shall I proceed, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Morning. I take this opportunity.
I have seen, one second, ma. We have seen so many comments from the chat box, ma.
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent, wonderful sessions, wonderful presentation, Dr. Muthuselvam, sir, and Shanti, ma'am. And so many persons have put a very good feedback, sir. I need to proceed, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Sir, we received a lot of appreciations from the participant side, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, sir. I take this opportunity to thank our guest speaker, Dr. Murli, sir, Bala Murli, sir, for delivering an enlightening lecture on power quality issues. Session was very informative and useful, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you very much for clarifying all our doubts. Thank you very much, sir. And with this has been already conveyed by our participant, one of our participants, Shanti, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, sir, again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bala Murli, sir. Thank you very much for your
Thank you,
Very
Professor.
informative
Thank you,
session,
Professor. Thank you.
sharing knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Lata. Thank you. Thank you.
Kindly stop recording,
Thank you, sir.
Madam.